Technology is weird, specifically things like Wi-Fi, wireless headphones, and computers. How did we go from this to this? Well, I've always asked myself these questions, and I'm sure many of you have as well. So today I'm going to go through a list of things that I just want to talk about that has to do with technology and how confusing it may seem. But first I want to talk about how normalized all of this is to us and how we don't even question it, especially to kids growing up with all this technology. I was around 7 or 8 years old when everyone started getting smartphones, so I wasn't fully surrounded by it when I was young. Yes, I actually played with toys. But nowadays, kids grow up on tablets, and one thing I can't seem to figure out is why kids ask the question why to everything, except why does my tablet work? And that may seem extreme. No, I don't expect kids to say this, but it's just a little interesting to me that they don't. And even most adults go about their day-to-day lives using all sorts of technology, not questioning how or why this works. And for some reason, finding out the how makes it more confusing. And I have an example. A few months back, some family came down and we all wanted to play the Wii, but the sensor bar wasn't working. Now, a lot of people probably think the sensor bar is somehow connected directly to the Wii, but it's not. It's literally just a plastic container with 2 infrared lights. Knowing this, and also knowing that fire is a form of infrared light, I went and got a couple of those little candles and lit them and set them in front of the TV, and boom, it worked. Everyone in the house was so shocked and thought I was a genius. My question here is, why is fire more impressive than a magical piece of plastic that somehow makes this remote work? I don't really have an answer, but I thought that was quite interesting. How if something looks like it's technologically advanced, then we don't question it. But if it's something as simple as fire, it's confusing and we don't understand how it works, even though all of this technology had to come from natural things. Now let's get into some basic things that everyone doesn't think twice about. Now you're probably expecting me to start off with something like television or virtual reality, but no. I'm still astonished by record players. Like seriously, these are insanely complex. And I know obviously they got a lot of hype when they first came out, like, whoa, this is a crazy new invention. But I feel like with the invention of so much other things, people aren't astonished by this anymore, and it's insane to me. So I'm gonna get into how it works. But first, I need to explain how sound itself works. Every sound from anything travels in sound waves to our ears, and these sound waves have physical corresponding shapes and symbols to them. You may have seen videos online about this. This can actually be demonstrated by pouring salt down on a table and then vibrating the table. This is the reaction of the sound wave traveling through the table, and then it gets transmitted to the salt and starts taking physical form, as you can see here. Now there's a lot more to get into, but to sum it up, to create vinyl records, the singer would have to get a hold of a giant horn. They would sing the song into it, and the horn would vibrate a diaphragm with a stylus attached to it, and at the end of the stylus is the record. And as it vibrates, the stylus jumps up and down, carving the 3D replica of what that sound looks like. Now, moving away from that, what the heck is Wi-Fi? Like, yes, there's an obvious answer. It's what I connect my phone to when I get home after school and watch some Unsalted Butter. But imagine if you were transported into the Stone Age and you had to explain what Wi-Fi was to a man that will literally kill you over a slice of bread. The secret formula to Wi-Fi is electromagnetic radiation, which is everywhere around us. We just can't see it. So explaining more on Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi comes from a router, and these routers push out signals looking for any receivers. I'm not going to get too in depth with this, but the premise of Wi-Fi and these radio signals in general is that they're everywhere. And when you sit down and try to watch Netflix, your TV doesn't just work because the Wi-Fi directly went to it. The Wi-Fi radio signals were already there. The TV just has to get on the same wavelength as the Wi-Fi to interpret the signals that are being released from the router. Now, the thing that makes all this confusing is, even though I'm explaining all this, it still begs the question, how do you even build a TV and tell it to get on the same wavelength as a router? Well, I don't know, but some people do because it exists. What's funny is you can actually take advantage of the fact that radio signals are everywhere, and you can play pranks on stores by connecting a walkie-talkie to the same wavelength channel that they're using. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is coding. No, I'm not talking about the computer coding like a language you would learn, such as C#, C++, or JavaScript. I'm talking about the base code. Let me explain. So yes, we can all accept the fact that computers and games on computers use code to get programmed and told what to do. But why does the code work? And how does the computer understand that typing a line of code that says turn left actually means turn the character left? Well, I think the main reason that this is difficult to understand is because humans are naturally impatient, and this kind of stuff took a while to invent. but it's pretty basic. The only hard part of it is the time. For each little pixel on a computer monitor, either a 1 or a 0 is attached to it, which is just a tiny light switch, the 0 being the light is off and the 1 being the light is on. And then each pixel has 3 smaller lights consisting of red, green, and blue, which are the 3 color makeup of the entire color spectrum. In these 3 lights in each pixel, there are also other switches that tell each red, green, and blue light how light or dark they need to be in order to produce any sort of color that you need to make. Then every single pixel on the screen is programmed like this. And coding languages such as JavaScript are just shortcuts that are created through this binary system of zeros and ones. And then we just use actual words to type so we understand it instead of having to type out thousands, if not millions of zeros and ones. See, it's very complex, but just because it's complex doesn't mean it's necessarily hard. After all, it really is just a bunch of lights on a screen changing color. Little side note, but Babel Image Archives is a very interesting website. Because every digital picture is made up of multiple pixels of any variation of color, this website set up a program that literally has every single possible picture that could ever exist. Seriously, anything you can think of is on this website. But it would take this many years to go through them, which is a 1 followed by 961,748 zeros. Pause this video right now and look around your room at anything or any group of things. That little freeze frame that you're looking at right there, you would eventually find it on this website. The more you think about it, the more mind-blowing it is. To close this video and prove the fact that I stated earlier that humans are naturally impatient because we think that no one would take this amount of time to create certain things as in-depth as even record players are, I'm going to end with showing a video of how detailed a singular computer chip is. Now I know that I didn't go in depth of computers, but I just want to do this to prove a point. And since I'm ending with that clip, let me say this before I show the clip. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments, or if you want to see specific videos such as how computers work, how involved they are, and how we went from sticks and stones to a full functioning computer. It's crazy how we evolved as humans to figure out how to do this. And also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And with that being said, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.